Hello, good evening. Um, so it's another session of online training. So let's begin with some graphic design. Let's begin with Canva. So this is Canva here, like and let's see a few things. Now, I want to talk about coming up with a design concept. A specific approach to a design, and we're going to look at promotional materials and flyers, banners, posters, things that are used to advertise an event, advertise a program, or not necessarily a product, because product presentation has its own twists, although you could still use a flyer. But I'm particularly looking at flyers for events, for announcements, and then the ones you can use online. So we're looking at how to build a concept, a design approach. Now remember, we have the 8 principles of design that we've talked about: alignment, hierarchy, contrast, repetition, proximity, balance, color, and space. And each of them are crucial. So on Canva, we are going to be building from scratch. We're going to be starting from scratch. By scratch, I mean that we are starting our own design, adding our elements. Elements are the different components of the design: the text, the pictures, the icons, the symbols. We are doing it from scratch. Now, for a flyer, like I said, we're looking at flyers. We're not looking at any other kind of graphic design, because I notice that when they say graphic design, a lot of people think of flyers as if that's the only thing. Graphic design is very broad. It's very, very broad. It's not just to do a flyer. If somebody says I'm a graphic designer and he really does flyers, well, he is or she is, but that's her niche, that's her area. Otherwise, it's wise. For example, what about book covers? I can also do a book cover. You see, graphic design. Okay, I can do a product presentation of maybe donuts. Maybe I want to present a donuts that I sell. So we are looking at flyers particularly. Now, when you come into this place, first thing you want to do is select a size. Look at, there are different sizes you can use, and each have their names. Okay, if you want to put something on your WhatsApp story, this would be ideal. Look at it, because it is customized and properly sized for that purpose. If you want to put something on Twitter, you may want to use this because it has been dimensioned for Twitter, it has been sized for Twitter, and so on and so forth. Facebook ads like this, so that your poster does not get cut at some sites. If the flyer is too big and you put it on a particular platform, it could cut it or shrink it, and it will defeat the purpose. But it's not a hard and fast rule. You can still design and say put it there, it will still look great. This is just to give you some sort of guideline. So like I said, let's not lose track of what we're doing. We're looking at coming up with a design concept, how you want your flyer to look like. For this purpose, I would like to use a poster like this, a portrait kind of design. So I'll just select it and it will be there. I don't want it landscape. I don't want it wider than it is long. I want it longer than it is wide. Portrait now, it's longer than it is wide, whereas landscape is wider than it is long. Now, how do we come up with a concept? I'm just going to go straight to one method. One method is to look at other people's designs, and that's what we're going to focus in on this video. You can look at designs made by other people online and try to imitate it. That method is very effective. When you imitate it for some time, you will be able to get a clue of what is marketable, because you see, this thing has standards. Even though it's called creativity, or it's called your personal tastes, designing your personal design methods, you still need to look at what is trending. For example, those days when we used to use CorelDRAW, and of course you can use this to get another page, but that's not what we're doing. You can delete it too, right here. Okay, still the same. CorelDRAW, Photoshop, all of them have their different tastes. So there is what is called trend. So you look at other people's designs to see trending things. Now, how do we do this? I have downloaded some samples that I will try to imitate now. Now, on Canva, you see this plus sign here. This is where you add everything. Your elements, your text, your images, your videos. We'll look at flyer animations or animated flyers, your templates, and all of that. Illustration. We're going to use all of this. So I'm going to get a flyer I downloaded. I didn't make it, but I downloaded this. So I'll just click on images and it will direct me to my gallery. If the things I'm looking for are not here, if I can't get them here, what do? I just tap on this image and it will go to the main phone gallery. Alright, get that? It go to the main phone gallery. So I can open from here too. That's not also bad. Alright. But let's assume I'm not taking from there. So let's go back. Now look at this. Look at something like this. Let's take this one. Look at this design. Let me expand it. Now this isn't landscape. This is more of Instagram. Alright. This design, you can see it doesn't fit this size. But let's just keep it first. Look at this design. It's very simple. Very, very simple. But it passes a message. A lady is there, blue shirts or dress. Is it blouse or what do they call it? A blue dress, whatever. This thing here that is usually on mobile phones is also there. They call it 3 bars. I think there's a name they call it. Is it bar? Then look at this text. Then observe how she used this to separate. This is called grouping, or there's a word for it. I'm coming. Give me a jiffy. Okay, proximity. Yes. All these texts, proximity is putting similar elements together or grouping similar elements together. All these are writings, are text. So she puts them in one place, then use this bar to like let you know that okay, this is the space for the writing. If she had removed that bar, it won't look a bit stacky, a bit choppy. It will look a bit scattered. So very simple design, but it passes a message. The color very sharp. So how do we repeat a design like this? First of all, you need an image like this that doesn't have a background. So what do? You can go to remove.bg and remove the background. Now I'm not going to do that in this video because it will take time. So I will just use a picture that has white background, then use a white background like this so that it will blend. That is grammar. Let me show you what I mean. But first of all, let's try to get an Instagram what they call it, canvas. Canvas means your working area or your working surface. So let me use an Instagram one. How do I know it's Instagram? From experience. Instagram is more like a square. Look at it. It's a square. So let's work with this. Let's also duplicate this so that we can be seeing her own. Remember, don't lose focus of what we're doing. We are looking at imitating a design. So this is her own. Just keep it somewhere here. Just keep it somewhere here. Then you can tick here to unhighlight. Alright. So this her own, this my own. So I'm going to be alternating. So what's the first thing I want to do? Get a picture. So let me see. Do I have any picture that is just me? Yes, I do. So I will just go to where I kept it. I can use this, but the color is not going to work. Of course, if I don't want the color, I can remove the background. I've said that. Go to remove.bg and you'll be able to do that. But let me just use one that is already white. Okay, you see that? So I'll take it. Her own is expanded. It's more of her from what they call a bust. Is it? It's not a full picture. They can call it bust. Yes, from like your torso or from your chest region up, something like that, or maybe from your belly or your waist. So just keep it here. You can expand it a bit. It should not be too, it's not full. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, this is okay. Let's compare it. You see ours is even bigger. So I can just do like this. Now, imitating the design doesn't mean that you can't add your style. You can. Okay. Now ours is white. Ours is blue, and every other thing is white. Now I can't use white fonts here because this background is already white. So maybe I could use a color on this image. What colors are on this image? We have purple, we have black, we have yellow. So another principle of design, from the 8 principles of design, we talked about color, and we also talked about what repetition. Although repetition has a different application, but repetition still applies. You don't want to use too many colors, and we talked about what colors. So color plays a very crucial role. So since all the colors here are purple, yellow dominantly, I think I would like to work with that. So let's see if I can get some bars. How do we do that? You click on plus, you go to illustration, then type this. On illustration is where you get icons, where you get elements, where you get all those little symbols that spice up your work. You get them in illustration. So just type bars, they'll give you something. I'm trying to look for that particular Android phone bar. If you don't see it there, you can type another word. Now if you don't see anything that you want here, you can go to flaticons.com, boxicons.com. There are many websites, png3. Just go there and type what you want, and they will show you some of those things. Alright, so I'm finding it difficult to get it. So if that's the case, I'm not getting bars, I can rather use line. I'm just showing you how to stretch your creativity. That bar is made up of 3 lines, right? And I can't get a bar, so I can get a line and make 3 of it. It's also a good idea, right? So let's look for any sharp line like that. Or if that one doesn't work, I can also do this. You see, there's no hard and fast rule. All you want to do is get a desired result. So there are different approaches, right? There are different approaches. So now that one didn't work, so I can take a square instead, then drop the size of the square. That's what I'm doing. Drop the size of the square. See that? Then use this arrow, this direction. What do you call it? I don't know what the name is. Keep it here. So it's there, right? Then while it is highlighted, see, it's not highlighted now. Any image you touch gets highlighted. This one has been highlighted. If you want to highlight this one, you just come to it, touch it, then select a color for it, and select purple, and select this purple too, and look at it. Then click on it again and duplicate. When you press this symbol here, it means duplicate. So keep it what? Under. It's still highlighted. I duplicate again. Keep this one what? Under. It's not quite aligned, so just try and I may not do it properly because of time. I don't want the video to be too long. So that one is there. I can drop this one too. Good. Now let's see if it's beginning to resemble what we want. You can see her own bars are a lot smaller. Okay, but you get a point. We can still do it with a normal line. You can even use letter L, small letter L, and then drag small letter L to be big, then turn it upside down. Let me show you. Look at, what if I do something like, if I click here and go to text. Now if I want to type a text, go to text. Everything you want is on that place. I'm sorry, you select some text of your own. Let me repeat it so that it's not confusing. You first click on this, go to text, then say add some text of your own. This means you are going to write your own text. You can also use their own text and edit it. It's not bad too. So just highlight on it or tap inside the text box. It will highlight like this. Then you can delete everything or just type your own stuff. Or you can use this. look at what I did on my Android keypad. I press numbers, then press the other option, and it will give me other symbols. There are many symbols on Android. So look at this one and click on the check sign. Then hold this curved arrow sign. Then you can twist it like this. Make sure it's aligned. Look at when it aligns, you will see those lines will come up. Make sure it's exactly 180 degrees. Then look at these places here. You can stretch. You can use them to expand an image. That's what I was talking about. To expand, once you hold that point, this point here on any image and drag it, it will expand that image. Then what do? Come to this color box here down. You see this place down. Come to this color box, click on it, and select what? Purple. So that's a good option too. So that means I may not need these ones anymore. I can delete these ones. Click on it, come to this dustbin symbol and delete. Then click on this one and what? Move it. Move it here. I can duplicate it again. I can duplicate it, or instead of duplicating, I can still, since it's a text, I can still type inside. Keep this space here. Go back and do what I did. Do another one. Do another one. Then okay it. You see that? Now you see that it's spread too much apart. Okay. So what do I do to shrink a text space? Simple. You go to what they call spacing over here. Click on it, and you see height spacing. All these things are useful. You see that? I've dropped it. I can increase it. If you are still not satisfied with it, you can still make one line instead, then duplicate it and move it to the level you want. So it's just about your creativity and about any approach you use to get a desired result. So I'm done with that. I have a call here. Okay, let me stand back on. So I can move this here and keep this here. Let's see what we have. So we have this text up here. We have this up once here. So let's see. What do I do now? Go back to icons. Go back to shape. We want another line. Drop this like this. Remember, we are imitating a design. Then what do I do next? Rotate it. And when you're rotating, make sure it's exactly straight, perpendicular, and you will see the lines there to show you that is that way. I may want to shift this one inside a bit so that this will have space. I may also have to drop it a bit. Then what do I do next? The color, of course. Right. So the remaining thing is what? The text. Come to text, add some text of your own. It's already here. Then what did she say? I can make it all caps, all capital. Graphic design. Remember, this text is now over jam-packed. So let's first correct that. Go back to spacing and put it normally. Maybe 0.0 is okay. Click on it. Continue. Graphic design. Video editing. Okay. Animation. Web design. Ebooks, let's say ebooks. Then click on the tick sign. You can now come here. This is where you edit text and use align to left. You can press this or press it again and it becomes aligned to the left. Then the spacing is still wrong, so come back here and put it on 0.0. Then lastly, you have to now make it sit properly. So how do you do that? You can stretch this so that everything stays in proper lining. your spacing is still poor, the spacing is still poor, I can do this and tick it. Now I can drop the font size here. Look at this number. I can select, let me say 40. I can also bolden it, or I can leave it like this, then move it over here. Maybe I need to get this. You see, it's aligning, it's showing you that okay, this is in the same line. I may want to drop the font some more, or you can just do like this with the fonts. Let me say 30 should be okay. I can decide that okay, this purple is too. Now you have to use it when you're doing fonts. The fonts have to be visible because people are going to read it. So you can use this. What about this? Yellow is usually not cool on stuff like this. When you've done the color, you can still come to this plus sign up. This one up here. Click on this plus sign and ticking the color by moving this knob on this place here. That's another way. Then click OK. Click back here. So what remains now is to arrange it well, put this well, put this well, put that well, and then I will export. Or I may just like to leave here black. Or maybe that's purple is a better purple. So what remains now is the things up. Let's see how this one is. So the name, and this one is a bit thick. Of course, you can change the fonts if you don't like it. You can change the fonts from here. You can use this one, Helvetisch, or something like that. Click OK. You can use Nonito bold. When you put the fonts, you have to wait a bit sometimes for it to actually change because of maybe network. Remember, Canva works online. Okay, it has affected now. It has been affected. And that's it. So the last one is what? My name. You can click on a text box and duplicate it, bring it down, then edit it and put, let's say, David Braide. Now that's what they call text priority or hierarchy. Hierarchy means what you want your viewer to focus on more. Is it your name or your image, or you like we talked about it on the group. You have to make that, you have to give it what they call visual weight. If you want something to be paid more attention to, you give it what they call visual weight. That's what they call hierarchy. You make it bigger, more colorful, more catchy, so that people will see it first. So since I want my name to be a major cache, I can increase the font of that name to, let me say, 40. So it has gotten visual weight now, right? I'll move it here. And try to also what? Balance. We talked of balancing. Balancing means your elements should be evenly distributed across your worksheet. Your elements should be what? Evenly distributed. So there's something down here. I can also put something up here, right? If this one is a bit here, then this one too should come out and align or match with where that one is. It's called what? Balancing. So let's compare it again. Okay, she balanced this and this. She balanced it on the left, on the right rather. It's not bad. I can also do that. So this is just one way to get design concepts. So what I'm doing basically, I'm introducing myself and my services. She has a tag. She calls herself you may not see it from here. She calls herself female graphic designer. I don't know if I should call myself male graphic designer. Okay, let me call it. Let me say duplicate. Then edit. Let me say smartphone. Okay, let me say digital. Anything that you feel, any title you have. let's say digital entrepreneur or digital content pro. This is not my title, I'm just using it for example. Now, text priority. This one should not be bold because it's not what I want to give much attention to, or I don't want it to conflict. I don't want it to be I don't want too many things to draw attention. In a graphic design, everything should not be competing for attention. That's what I'm trying to say. So I may have to drop the font of that one to, let me say, 30. And okay, then what did she do? She brought it down. I may also want to do what they call contrast. I may have to change the color of this one. So what do? I'll just put it a different color, or rather use black. Black is, or maybe even ash, purple. Okay, that's good. It's still a bit high. You can use. Now this is just my concept. It doesn't mean that you may not like it like that. You may want it to be bigger or a different color. It's all about your creativity, but with guidelines. It's not just creativity like that. Creativity with guidelines. I want it to come here. Alright. So how does this look? So what is left now is this one's off. I can duplicate this. Like I said, she has something up there. Duplicate again, because there are about 2 things she put, about 2 or 3 items she listed out there. Let's see what she wrote. Home, about, services, contact. Just the way she's just trying to imitate the surface of a smartphone or a smartphone app. That's what it's just a concept. It's not a bad concept. Home. This other one. About. You know what home is now? The first page you see in an app or a website. Duplicate again. Contacts. Remember, the spacing must be what? Equal. It's called balancing. The spacing must be equal. Hello. I'm coming. I'll be between a jiffy. I'll be between a jiffy. The spacing must be equal. So the space you kept between one text and another should be repeated. Contacts, rather. I said contacts. I said contrast. That's a design principle. So do you think we are good to go? Let's drag this a bit here close. Spacing must be what? Equal. I want to make this black for some contrasts. Let everything not be pop. Right? Or if you don't want to use black, you can use ash. Sometimes you can just romance a color. Just pet it. Don't just play with the color. You must not use exactly black or exactly. You can use off-white. I'll give you the color code for that. So how is this? Compare it to this. So that brings us to the end of coming up with a design concept. So what's the next thing now? Download, of course. And to prepare it, and voila, we're done. Wow.